Kyle Richards, a star of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, is standing up for the act of confronting a person who is suspected of abusing animals. Before this, she was involved in a physical confrontation, and the paparazzi were able to record it. She is now embarking on a more comprehensive investigation of the events that transpired on that particular day. Continue reading to find out more information. Kyle Richards advocates for confrontation with a person accused of animal abuse, especially when it came to Lisa Vanderpump. Viewers of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills were tired of watching Kyle Richards get bullied by her co-stars for many years. Fans were irritated by the highly conditional relationship that existed between LVP and Kyle. However, they also enjoyed witnessing their exploits. Kyle took a firm stance in favor of what was just in the 14th season, when she made her appearance with a great deal of enthusiasm. Dorit Kemsley shouted back at her, and as a result, she was ridiculed because of the prominent vein on her forehead. It was impossible for the audience to accept that the Kyle who was losing his or her temper on the person who used to be his or her closest friend was the same individual they had been seeing for years. Following that, she engaged in a disagreement with another person on the street, which left her following in a state of bewilderment. When she went up against the woman, there was reportedly a significant amount that the cameras were unable to record. Kyle made the assertion that the woman was walking her dog across the street, and that she witnessed this, which caused her to become upset. Kyle shared her thoughts on Monday, April 28th, on the day in which she was caught in the act of aggression. She had gotten into an argument with a woman, which did not end happily and resulted in a near fist fight. Kyle's visit to the woman in question did not go down well, and she made her displeasure known. She approached the woman and told her that she had to stop because she had witnessed the woman being mean to her puppy, the RHOBHOG observed. This was an aspect that the cameras were not able to capture, which led to the impression that she was acting in an aggressive manner. Another suggestion was that Kyle Richards should place her close companion, Teddi Mellencamp, in front of her. Kyle, on the other hand, is contesting this, asserting that this is absolutely not the way that things went down. RHOBH stands for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Kyle and the dogs that belong to her. One thing that viewers of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills are well aware of is that Kyle Richards is quite fond of her pets. She has collected a significant number of puppies, and they have made appearances on the popular Bravo reality television series. The fact that she would wish to put an end to any instances of cruelty that she witnessed is understandable, given that her followers have enjoyed watching her interact with animals. Followers were not particularly happy with Kyle at the time that the encounter with the dog took place for the first time. The fact that she was in the company of Teddi Mellencamp, who is currently fighting cancer, was more of an issue than the confrontation she was involved in. Teddi has a lot going on as of right now, so what the heck is Kyle doing backing up behind her? Kyle has been continuously concealing herself behind other people. She really ought to have taken a step forward. Kyle is so incompetent at keeping her pets under her control that I have no idea who she thinks she is. Of course, there were some fans of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills who were really happy of Kyle Richards for taking the appropriate course of action. On the other hand, there were many who believed that she should have been struck by the woman whom she had challenged. Are you of the opinion that, as Kyle asserts, there are further aspects of this narrative that have not been revealed? Kyle Richards is no stranger to confrontation, but the latest incident placing her at the center of headlines was far from the usual reality television drama. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star has found herself under scrutiny after a tense encounter in public with a man she believed was mistreating his dog. While onlookers pulled out their phones and the story traveled quickly across social media, Kyle has chosen not to bow to criticism. Instead, she is standing firmly behind her actions, insisting that stepping in was the right thing to do. The incident unfolded outside a popular boutique in Los Angeles, where Kyle had been shopping with a friend. Witnesses reported that a man appeared to be dragging his small dog aggressively, yanking the leash and yelling at the distressed animal. According to several accounts, the dog was trembling, resisting, and visibly frightened. For Kyle, that was enough to step in. What happened next became the flashpoint for national conversation. Kyle reportedly approached the man and demanded he stop hurting the animal. The man, offended at being confronted, allegedly snapped back, leading to a heated exchange that drew the attention of everyone around them. Video clips captured Kyle gesturing sharply, her voice raised, while the man attempted to argue that the dog was fine and that she was overreacting. To Kyle, however, there was no overreaction when an animal was suffering. After the video surfaced, some viewers praised her for sticking up for an animal that could not defend itself. Others accused her of escalating the situation and inserting herself into a matter that did not concern her. But Kyle is refusing to walk back her actions. In recent statements, Kyle has been adamant that she would do the same thing again, even knowing the backlash that followed. She acknowledged that the confrontation was intense, but said her instincts kicked in the moment she saw what she believed was outright abuse. Kyle explained that she has always been passionate about animals and has spent years supporting shelters, rescue organizations, and spay and neuter initiatives. Growing up around pets and raising her children with dogs reinforced her deep connection to animals. She has often called them the purest companions a person can have. That emotional bond shaped her reaction that day and, in her view, justified it. In an interview following the incident, Kyle stated that the dog's visible distress was undeniable. To her, the trembling and resistance the dog showed was not normal, and the man's behavior was clearly harmful. She added that anyone who loves animals would have felt the same impulse. She rejected the idea that celebrities should stay quiet in uncomfortable situations simply to avoid bad press. If anything, she said, having a platform means using it for good. Her defenders echoed her sentiment. Several animal rights advocates have since spoken in her favor, stating that bystanders often failed to intervene when they witness cruelty. In their eyes, Kyle showed integrity by speaking up. They argued that if more people acted the way she did, fewer animals would suffer in silence. Still, critics have remained vocal. Some accused her of using the incident for attention, though Kyle has posted nothing about it on her own social platforms. Others argued that she should have called animal control instead of confronting the man. Kyle responded to this suggestion by saying there was no time to wait and that she acted in the moment to stop what she saw as immediate harm. The conversation surrounding the incident has since grown into a broader debate about the responsibility of public figures. Many fans have pointed out that Kyle, despite being on reality television for over a decade, is still a person with strong feelings and boundaries. The accusations that she was seeking publicity struck her supporters as unfair. As one commented online, intervention is never comfortable, and filming does not make someone immune to impulse or moral obligation. What caught even more attention was Kyle's acknowledgement that the confrontation could have turned dangerous. The man was visibly agitated, and the scene could have escalated further. Yet she insisted that fear did not outweigh her concern for the animal. She admitted the situation shook her afterward, but she did not regret stepping in. Kyle also contrasted the public reaction with private messages she received. Numerous fans reached out to thank her, sharing their own stories of stepping in when they witnessed abuse. She highlighted how often people assume that someone else will intervene, only for no one to do so. To her, that hesitation is part of the problem, and she hopes the incident encourages people to trust their instincts. Meanwhile, the man involved in the confrontation has denied abusing the dog, saying he simply had a stubborn pet that refused to walk. This explanation did little to quiet the ongoing debate. Some felt that stubbornness does not justify force. Others argued that the viral video captured only a fragment of the interaction and thus painted an incomplete picture. The dog's welfare remains the central question, but no official investigation has been launched. Kyle's firmness in defending her actions also appears tied to her ongoing personal evolution. After navigating a challenging year filled with scrutiny over her marriage, friendships, and public image, she has been vocal about reclaiming control over her narrative. In this case, she refuses to be cast as the aggressor when, in her mind, she acted out of compassion. Her fellow housewives have offered mixed reactions. A few praised her for sticking up for the dog, while others jokingly suggested she could have handled the exchange with a little more calm. Anyone familiar with the history of the franchise knows that calm is not always Kyle's default state, but it is also not always required. This time, many agree her passion came from a genuine place. As the story continues circulating, Kyle remains unmoved by outside criticism. Whether the public sides with her or not, she stands by what she believes was the humane choice. She insists that if protecting an animal makes her look confrontational, then that is an image she is willing to carry. In a world where most people instinctively pull out their phones instead of stepping in, Kyle Richards chose action over comfort. For her, that is something worth defending, no matter how loud the backlash becomes.